I'm at work. I decided to take a mental health break. Sometimes you have to uh, practice something called self care. You basically have to, make room for mental wellness. Um, Sometimes you have to get silent, sit still, and reflect and think about your life and how it's going. I'm a person that struggles with complex PTSD due to domestic violence, family abuse, and abuse by proxy. Um, Sometimes I have bad dreams, intrusive memories, and sometimes it's hard, to concentrate. Sometimes you have flashbacks, different things. I've spoken about it before, but sometimes you have to take a mental health break. Um, there are a lot of things going on in the world that concern me. I worry about climate change. Every day I'm reading the news, and if it's not about Canadian wildfires causing toxic air to come into my town, then you hear about a super volcano that could possibly erupt in another part of the country, putting millions of people at risk. You hear about heat and hot temperatures that are causing, people to become sick, to die, and it's scary out there. It's scary. Um, so, and then this thing with Florida, we are going backwards as a country. The fact that, there are certain southern states that still have Confederate values. They are basically trying to make things go back to the way they were during Klan days, where the Klan terrorized people and white supremacy was basically on a pedestal. The fact that they're trying to indoctrinate young fourth graders and young middle schoolers to teach them that slavery was okay or slavery was beneficial to them is a slap in the face to all descendants of enslaved African Americans. First of all, to teach something like that presupposes that these African people did not have skills when you took them from Africa, when historically and in actuality, a lot of these African people that were taken were queens, kings, and they were already skilled before they got here. So it makes it is a very racist concept to teach something like that, to indoctrinate young children. It is a form of self hate. It is a form of mental oppression to teach young children something like that. And it is also untrue. It's a falsehood and it's a lie. So I just find it to be one of the most greatest disrespects right now. And I'm hoping that the Black, parents in the state of Florida or every minority parent does something. You know, if they're going to teach these lies in school, that the parents begin their own curriculums at home, getting materials to teach their children the truth about history, the true truth about history. Um, yeah, so in actuality, teaching young children lies is not the move. Um, a lot of African American people that came here were already skilled, and some of them were already Christians. So that kind of flies in the face of Christianity being a white man's religion. They don't have a, you know, a hierarchy on Christianity because they were African Christians before the slave trade. So, people have to, since they've been teaching people now propaganda and they're teaching people lies, it is up to people now to really search for and look for the truth in a world filled with false news, propaganda, racist rhetoric, and lies. People have to look for the truth themselves. And if you really want the truth and you really dig for it, you'll find it. I am a witness to that. I took a deep dive into Christian history and found out atrocities that I never wanted to find out. I took a deep dive into the Black history, African history, and how African descendants were treated in this country. And I was horrified. You know, the rapes, the forced breeding, the lynchings, the whippings, um, you know, not being able to go to gynecologists, not being able to go to doctors for good treatment. It's just, a lot that is not taught, and it's done purposely. It's done purposely, to keep people dumbed down, to keep people ignorant about the true racist, horrific, violent history, anti-Black history of this country. So today, Friday, with all of these things heavy on my mind, I'm also going through stress at work, you know, um, office politics, and, sometimes higher ups, they don't always treat employees the way that they should. And then it becomes stressful. So I needed to take just a mental health break to calm my mind and to find my place of peace. I'm in the quiet room and I plan to attempt to have a time of prayer, a time of reflection, to center myself so that I can actually, go through my workday with a level of calmness and peace, because I probably have a lot of work to do. But I just wanted to check in with everybody. How is your mental health? You know, there's a lot that goes on in the world and the environment that causes people stress, that causes people pain, heartache, grief, that causes people to be enraged, to be disgusted, to be frustrated. So I ask you this question: how is your mental health? Your physical health is so important, but your mental health is also important. The mind and the body work together, and you have to be able to care for your mental health as much as you care for your physical health. You go to doctor's visit, you do testing. Some people take medication for conditions, but we have to also pay attention to our mental health, our minds. It's, I think, just as important as going to the doctor, as going to hospitals or specialists or taking medication. We have to take time for our own minds to make sure that we are mentally stable. I think sometimes we just get so caught up with everything that goes on in the world that we lose ourselves. You know, the world and the evil systems of this world and the racism, the unfairness of the world ends up leading our minds instead of us leading our minds. So, how is your mental health? I hope that everybody is keeping the faith. I hope that everybody is taking time for self care. I hope that people are taking the time to reflect, to make sure that, you know, you have some sort of direction in your life. And I hope and pray that everybody has a great weekend. We are in the middle of a heat wave. From what I heard, these are the 3 hottest days of the summer. So, whatever everyone decides to do it safely. Um, if you decide to go out, make sure you have sunscreen, make sure you drink enough water, make sure you're not in the heat for too long. Um, and just enjoy time with family, friends, or alone, spending time, me time. Enjoy your Friday, and there'll be more content shortly. Take care. Peace.